You don't talk about the product or your service. You talk about the problem and their emotions dealing with the problem, and then storytell on how you overcame that to inspire someone to then look further into how you can help them.
I write 45 emails about WealthCon. Didn't they see it the first time? It's like, no, people need to see things like 8, 10 plus times in order to know like what you're doing and if they want to do it too.
Jen Gottlieb says, like, your stage is in your pocket. If you have a phone, then you have no excuse. What you need to do is just start and see where it goes, right? Because your audience will tell you what they want more of too. People need to think outside the box. Like, the initial thought is, well, nobody cares about me or my life. Like, they just care about what I can provide to them. But that's not true.
You need support, whether it's in the form of coaching, mentorship.
Small goals and tight deadlines, that's how you create momentum. I really believe that. Okay, I'm so excited. We are here. It's my very first podcast episode, Create with Kate. I can't even tell you how excited I am. And my first guest is one of my very good friends, and she is also an amazing copywriter. This is Lauryn, and I'm just so excited.
Yay, thank you for having me, Kate.
I know, this is gonna be fun. We talk all the time, but we don't get to talk in this setting very much. I mean, I'm always trying to get you to create content, you know, and twist your arm, and you're just so creative that you think of it being perfect, and then I feel like that's what prevents you from creating with me. So
I know. And
let's talk about that.
I am putting myself out there a little bit more now.
You are
creating more content than I ever have before.
And people like it, and you're getting positive feedback.
I am getting positive feedback. And I think what's held me back for a long time is the tech and the editing. And I'm kind of just realizing that, like, you can just have lazy editing. And if your message is good, your hook, your content is good, then it'll go out there.
Well, it's kind of like copywriting in a way too, right? Because I mean, you could have some beautifully designed landing page, let's say, but if the words weren't good, right? If the copy wasn't good, is it going to be as effective?
Well, that happens all the time in the industry, because you can pay people in the Philippines to build you a beautiful landing page, and then you can have copy on it. But even if, I mean, it can go down to like words, like one sentence can ruin a landing page. It's crazy. So you have to like really be testing, and if something's not working, you have to be editing it.
So that's how I feel about like what you said about, you know, creating video content. It's like you get stuck on the edits, right? And the production, and it has to be this and that. But really at the end of the day, it's not about all of that. I mean, that's great. It does enhance the video, but it's really what you're saying in the video. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you providing? What are people getting out of you showing up and sharing something on a video?
Yeah, because I think we've seen it time and time again in this industry where people think that captions are all they need. If they have the Hermosi style of editing, that they're going to go viral. And that's just not the case. So you have to have, you know, a good hook. You have to be teaching somebody something. Like, look, they're saying now that, like, influencers are dead. Like, you have to be an educator. You have to be teaching people something. So it's not about just, like, the fluff. Like, you have to be able to be, like, bettering people's lives. So it's, like, for people to follow you.
Yeah, I think that's so true. You know, you really have to, it's hard now because obviously it's so competitive, right? Everyone's on there, everyone's creating. Well, not everyone. I shouldn't say everyone's creating, because I talk to people all day long that want to create that aren't creating.
But
there's a lot. And yeah, you can't be too fluffy anymore. You really have to get down to what am I going to help you with? And then give actionable steps, I think, because there's a lot of general information out there, but not, you can watch this video and then you can go take action and see something immediately, some kind of result, some kind of win. So
yeah, I feel like series are going to be like important.
Okay.
Down the road.
Yeah.
Because you know, you could spend a bunch of time on YouTube watching long form, but the equivalent of that in short form is probably like if somebody has a series, because you can take, you know, each bite-sized piece of content, and then maybe you could go off and do what they're trying to tell you to do. So like if it's like how to start an Amazon store, like maybe people can do like a 7-part series or 100-part series. I mean, that's how Cliff got his following, being the secret websites guy. It's just repeating over and over again what you know, just bite-sized pieces of information. So I feel like that is definitely the future.
I think that's a good point too, and something that my listeners, you know, would want to know, everyone that starts to listen, is can you share the same thing over and over again? Because I think there's this, like, they have this idea, okay, well, I already did a video about that. But it's like not everyone has seen that video, and there's different ways you can talk about the same topic, right? And or even the same way, but you share it multiple times.
Yeah, it's kind of like with me with email writing. Like I write 45 emails about WealthCon. It's like, didn't they see it the first time? It's like, no, people need to see things like 8, 10 plus times in order to know like what you're doing and if they want to do it too. So, I mean, yeah, repeat yourself. That's literally the name of the game, is repeating yourself over and over again. And even with like an origin story, like Russell Brunson style, like you have to repeat your story over and over again because it's just different people seeing it every single time. So I wouldn't be afraid to like keep reusing content or angles or just content that worked.
Yeah, just keep putting it out there. Tell us about the Russell Brunson style.
Well, I just meant for the origin story. So like,
tell me about that. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's like, you know, the hero's journey. So it's like, if you have something that you're selling, like you had to start from somewhere. So like you at some point didn't know the solution either. So you had the same problem that your audience is struggling with. And then like, this is you telling your story of like how you like found a mentor, like, you know, got to like where you are, and then how you can help them too. That's kind of the shorter version of that. So it's the hero's journey.
So I didn't know so he references that, the hero's journey.
Oh yeah, it's in one of the books. I can't remember which book off the top of my head. And there's even whiteboard videos on
I
YouTube
gotta look this up.
it. Yeah, so because that's how I write like origin story sequences. So it's like it kind of follows a pattern of like you had a problem, like you found the solution, like you're gonna give them the solution, like.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we coach people on content creation, right? Instead of, you don't talk about the product or your service, you talk about the problem and their emotions dealing with the problem, and then storytell on how you overcame that, right? To inspire someone to then look further into, you know, how you can help them.
Yeah, because it has to resonate with like the group of people. And that's why some of the most random things like end up going viral, because it's a collective like memory or a collective pain or struggle. Like something like a Mandela effect like goes viral on Instagram or TikTok because it's like, oh, we all remember things a certain way and it wasn't that way. So it's like, you know.
Who are some of your favorite like influencers or creators to follow?
Ooh, let's see.
Well, Manifestation Babe.
Manifestation Babe is my favorite. Yeah, for sure. Catherine Zankina. You know, I love my girl, Haley Hoffman-Smith.
I love her too.
Yep, I'm working with her right now. And you know, I love Russell Brunson. He is my marketing, just like everything, marketing god, who I look up to.
He really is.
He really is. Him and like, you know, like Dan Kennedy, because they have a company together. And let's see. I mean, of course, I follow the Hermosis, like love them. I love what Layla's putting out lately.
I do too.
She's putting out like different content. It's inspirational. Kind of takes you behind the scenes of like hard work.
Yeah.
So.
And the real problems that you face.
Oh,
like she doesn't sugarcoat it.
No,
which
definitely
I think people appreciate.
And she is showing people like that she struggled. Like she struggled with binge eating, binge drinking, imposter syndrome, feeling like she wasn't ready to lead a company. So I think that's really great to see that it's not just like all rainbows, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think obviously we know that, but that's really the challenge for most people, is to show up. You know, we hear it all the time, right? Show up authentically as yourself. Right. But that's really hard to do. And then it's really hard to know how to talk about the problems. Like, the way you present that information, I think we tend to get in our head about that too. And I think, honestly, the best thing that you can do is really just share what you went through like you would share with a friend.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, it really is. Because, like, if I was doing this podcast with somebody else, I would probably be so nervous. But, like, me just talking to you right now, I'm like, we're just talking marketing. Like,
Yeah.
we would, like, at a sleepover, you
Right. No, that's what I love about podcasting, though. I honestly think, well, for me, I don't know. I can talk to anybody, right? And
you can.
But some people, it's more exciting or whatever than others. Like, we're friends, so this is fun. It has like a different element to it. But no, I love podcasting because you just get to know people and you get to learn at the same time. And it's truly the most authentic version of you because you're not talking to a camera. Like, we're not looking at a camera right now. We're looking at each other.
Right.
And so it makes
Calming.
it makes it so much better, you know? So I think that this form of content creation is absolutely the way to go for so many reasons. That being one of them. And then the other, just people can listen, you know, not everyone has time to watch you. So if you have value to share, you know, they can listen while they work out. They can listen while they're driving. You know, I listen to podcasts when I put on my makeup.
Yep, me too.
You know, so it's just all different ways to add value. So,
Training wheels.
yeah, what questions? This is what I want to know about you because you don't post as much content, right? But you're getting there. You're starting to post more, and I love that. But what questions or things would you be searching when it comes to that with you creating content? Like, are you searching how to edit? Are you searching how to, because you obviously understand how to tell a story.
Yeah,
It's much harder to do for yourself. You know, it's easier to do for others. But yeah, what kind of things come up in your head? What questions are you asking yourself or Googling?
Oh, that's so good. I mean, you know, for me, it's always the editing. It's always the tech. And I have been kind of challenging myself to lean on Atalia and you and some of our other coworkers because it's like, I know what I want to do. I just don't know how to do it. And if somebody shows me, I'm like, oh, I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know that was there. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's helpful. And I see content sometimes and like with the transitions and the music and like I didn't even know how to get a trending sound from somewhere else onto Instagram. Like that is just so beyond me.
Yeah.
But I know what I want to say. I know what I want to do. And then I'm like, oh God, I can't do this. Like you just scroll and you're like, this is so complicatedly edited that like I could never do that.
So it's like an overwhelm
of course.
Yeah. So let's go back to, you said you know what you want to do and you know how you want to help people. I don't know if those were your exact words, but something to that effect. But what is that? What do you want to help people with online?
I mean, for me, marketing has always been so fascinating and I've just really loved working in the industry. And it comes down to like psychology. Like I love getting in people's heads and like trying to figure out like what people are going to resonate with. And sometimes you think they're going to resonate with something and they don't.
Yeah.
So I think it's fun to just share with people like kind of the ways of this industry because like the coaching, course creating, like influencer world is kind of new. And there's not that many people out there that have been like writing for influencers in the way that I've learned in the last few years, especially following like Russell Brunson. So, and of course, everybody's at every budget. Like some people are going to want somebody to write their landing pages and everything for them. And other people like are open to learning. So I would love to teach that content. So just like ways that you can write and really connect with your audience if you're going to do it yourself. And I love relating like marketing back to pop culture. And I can't wait to do videos on, pop culture through like the lens of marketing.
No, I love that. So what would you tell someone like, let's use me as an example, right? You follow me, you know my content. what would you say would resonate with like my type of audience or people that want, because I work with a lot of entrepreneurs that want to show up on camera. Some, they're all different levels, right? Some have thriving businesses and they just don't know how to show up behind the lens. And some are showing up, but their content is boring or it's, you know, just surface level, not engaging. So from a psychological, you know, marketing perspective, what would you say?
It's funny because you are someone who always speaks from your heart and you always have something engaging to say and you will do it no matter the editing style. So like you're not going to just wait for a perfect editing, a perfect studio.
Yeah.
Like you're going to create no matter what. And I think that rawness like resonates with people because, you know, like somebody like Jen Gottlieb is so polished and like her speaking on stage and it's so glamorous. And I think that you'll probably have a mix of that type of content someday. And I think people will still resonate with it. But like you just in the car, like just filming, I think that is like really the best because people see that and they're like, oh, she's just filming in her car. Like it doesn't have to be anything special.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of DMs about the things that you post, like sobriety, like showing up on camera. Like people tell you that, you know, you inspire them. So
yeah, I mean, I will preach all day about like there's really no excuse. And even Jen Gottlieb says like your stage is in your pocket. Like if you have a phone, then you have no excuse. Like, and what you need to do is just start and see where it goes, right? Because your audience will tell you what they want more of too.
True.
And then you do more of that. And then your edits can get better over time, or you get a team eventually and they do your edits. But that's really not the most important thing. Even Jen, she grew her audience by showing up on lives. You know, that wasn't super edited, right? In this high production. No, she was just showing up, no makeup, then doing her makeup and talking to you like you were her friend.
Right.
You know, and she's great at responding to, you know, her followers. So if you comment or you send a DM, like she gets back to you, I think that's huge. And going back to what you know, initially said, like people have to really want to help people. And that's, to me, showing up in your car, you know, on your couch, like in a studio, wherever you are, just show up and then share and say something that is going to be helpful for the viewer. So for you, I you know, I'm a Sour Patch Kid, as you say, the tough love.
Yeah.
You have so much value to,
I know.
I mean, we're going to get, this podcast is amazing because you're going to see that all of these things that you've shared people are going to love it, you know, because it's like, oh, wow, I didn't think about it like that. You know, and so I feel like that's what you just need to do more of too, is share those little things. You probably aren't thinking about them because it's just, this is the world you're in, and marketing is what you do. But there are, even just telling the hero's story, right? That's valuable.
Yeah, it is. And I also think that people are really stuck on like trying to go viral. And I think they get upset if they only reach like 200 people or 500 people. I mean, I get upset like if my stuff doesn't go that far. But I mean, if you're reaching a couple hundred people, like that's still noteworthy. And, you know, I feel like we've talked about this. It's a volume play right now. So it's like you have to put out as much content as you can, just bite-sized information. And it's not always about going viral. So it's like, I think you can do a mix of like, you know, B-roll with the hook and like it being a looping video, and maybe if it resonates with people it goes viral, but then at the end of the day, like you still have to have some reason for people to follow you more than just like one viral video.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, well, let's talk TikTok for a minute right now. So with TikTok, what I see that is doing well is not highly edited content, and it's very storytelling, like, I mean, on like another level, and they're longer videos too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like you're talking to a girlfriend or, you know, a guy friend, whatever, but it's just that one-on-one and you're just sharing, right? And it's not highly edited, and that's what's performing. And then if you talk about Instagram, you know, I think, and we've talked about this before, there's like fatigue around that Alex Hermosi, Ryan Pineda type edit right now because everyone started to do it. So I think that the people that are doing well on Instagram, they have a combination of highly edited stuff and then, you know, more raw. And then the secret ingredient, I really think, is I think it's showing up on stories. Because even if your feed is constantly, I really do, because
Tell me
I
more.
think when you give someone a behind the scenes of you, or you're talking to stories and sharing with them something, anything, they feel like they know you more. So that builds the trust, you know, and I think that makes a huge difference. So I tell all of our students, you know, get on stories. Like that is going to increase your engagement. And I believe this so much. And one of our students, he also helps people create content. He's great. And his videos are phenomenal, right? On his feed. He doesn't really share much about his personal life, you know, on his Instagram page. And so I challenged him to do so. And he did. He talked about, he meditates in the morning, right? And so he shared about that. And already people started messaging him, and he has like potentially a new client.
That's
from
so
that.
funny. Oh my gosh.
So I think that's the other thing that people need to think outside the box, like about, because the initial thought is, well, nobody cares about me or my life. Like they just care about what I can provide to them. But that's not true. Like people do care about your life, and maybe they followed you at first because, I don't know, you shared something about being a mom or sobriety, right? But then when they got to your page, then they realized, oh, I like this type of content too. And I'm a business owner. I want to create better content. I want to do, oh, this is a good video. Oh, I'm learning. You know what I mean? So you can bring them in from other ways by just sharing who you are.
And I think what you said about stories is important. At first, I was like, whoa, what? But now it makes sense because you have to have both. Like if you're putting out content, yes, it's for your followers, but the reality is that a lot of your followers don't even see that.
Right.
It does get pushed out if it's relevant to other people. But stories are mostly the people who already know you. So that just gets them to like, know, and trust you even more.
Exactly.
And that's how you're going to monetize. Because if somebody doesn't know you at all, they may not buy something from you. But if you're showing up on stories over and over again and somebody resonates with you, then that's when they're going to pull their wallet out.
Totally. And you know, when you post a new story, you come up to the front of the explore page, or I'm like, I don't know the technical term.
Yeah.
But that's just another way for people to get that exposure to you. I just want to check to make sure we're all good here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think you should absolutely be showing up on stories. I'm trying to do more of that myself. And then the other thing that we have implemented with the students just this week, and I believe strongly in this too, is setting daily goals with time, like a deadline. Okay. So not weekly, like I'm going to make 5 reels this week. No, that's too far out. You need to, at the end of our calls, because we have, you know, group coaching calls, at the end of the call, it's okay, you're going to create one goal and it's within 24 hours and then a by when time. So for example, I'm going to make one story about meditation. Okay. If we use, that student as an example, and I'm going to do that by 11 a.m. tomorrow. And so then I know if he didn't do that at 11 a.m. tomorrow, and he knows he didn't stick to his commitment, right? So it's pushing you to get uncomfortable and then to follow through on your commitments to yourself, right? And that just builds your confidence. And then it also gets you to show up. So I think small goals and tight deadlines, that's how you create momentum. I really believe that.
And you get more at bats to potentially go viral or just to have a lot more eyes on what you're creating.
Yeah, and with going back to going viral, what you should focus on is getting that one DM or that one comment that's like, watching your content really changed my life or really inspired me or helped me to think differently about possibilities and whatever it is. That's all you need to know, and that will happen if you show up consistently and don't overthink it and just be who you are. That does happen. Like it will inevitably happen. I promise.
Yeah, it does. It's happened to me, which I was surprised about. People reaching out, oh, I see you're putting out marketing content, and they're asking me marketing questions. People I haven't talked to in years.
Exactly. So I know we have to wrap up because you've got some friends coming to town. You're going to celebrate a birthday this weekend, which is so fun. But what do you want to leave people with? Like, as far as showing up online and creating content, or maybe we could set some daily goals.
Oh, I know we will set some daily goals. I know we will. Oh gosh.
I think that's actually a good idea. That's going to be my signature end to my podcast. We're going to create one goal with a by when on like content creation specifically. Okay. So I'll go first to, maybe break the ice and give you some ideas. Yeah. So I'm going to, as soon as we get done with this podcast, I'm going to get on stories and I'm going to talk about it and how, the impact that it's had on me and just how much fun this is. And I'm going to do that, right when we get done. So I don't know, by 8 p.m. tonight, you're going to see that from me.
I love that. Well, I have a video in my drafts that needs to get posted.
Yeah, you do, and it's hilarious.
I will post that video.
Okay, but you got to give me a time.
I'll post it tonight.
But by exactly what time?
8 o'clock. I'll do it before.
So we'll both pick 8 o'clock, 8 p.m.
Yeah, 8 o'clock.
Okay. So I don't know. I can't speak to the psychological aspect of that, but I know that when you do give a time and a shorter window to take action, people tend to follow through more.
Okay.
So we shall see. You'll have to let me know. Well, I'll just be looking for your reel, and that's how I'll know.
Well, and I'll send it to you right away because I need all my girls to hype it up so that it gets pushed out to the masses.
Yeah, tag me too.
Yeah, so tell all your friends to like and share your content right away.
No, just support each other, It's
true. It's important to have people supporting you. That's what I'm going to leave people with is that you need support, whether it's in the form of coaching, mentorship, or even just your peers around you who are, doing what you want to be doing. And if you are behind them, like I'm behind them in content creation, not necessarily all like marketing.
Sure.
They can help me out with the editing and encourage me and like and comment on my posts. So I've been really grateful to have you girls to hype me up.
I know we have a great group of women, at the office, and I couldn't agree more. We all lift each other up and help each other where we have opportunities to grow. So you help us with the marketing side and copywriting.
Hooks.
And hooks, we didn't even get into that. And I know that everybody wants to talk about hooks, but we'll save that for our next episode.
I'll prepare something for that.
Yeah. Surround yourself with good people. Love what you do.
Yep.
Get mentorship and create daily goals and follow through and have, that support system and accountability.
Yep.
So, okay. Until next time, Create with Kate and Lauryn is wrapping up episode 1.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me. We're giggling.